Hello, I'm Johnny and welcome back to my kitchen. So, I'm going to show you how to make a boring jar turn into a more interesting jar. My mum got me some of these, she gave me them out of her stash, buttons, so I can use in my craft projects. And I've got loads of jars on the top of my kitchen units, just plain jars with various things in. So because the buttons are so attractive, I want to make the jar look attractive. So I'll show you the jars that I use. I used to drink this coffee, I don't know. The prices are extortionate, it's very expensive. My partner Andrew still drinks it. I use me cafetiere. So I like these jars. They're very nice in themselves, attractive. And they store loads of things in. As you can see, I store my pasta in. And well, I'll be chucking this pasta out, this green stuff, because I like to get wholemeal pasta or spinach pasta. But this, it said pea pasta, and I just thought it was going to taste like peas, like the spinach pasta does. But it turned into a huge sloppy mess, and it turned into mushy peas. I was really shocked. I didn't expect that, and it just tasted gross. I added a bit of salt, and it was just gross, and it looked gross. So I'm going to bin that. It was just gross. So. Oh yeah, and a few years ago they brought these out, limited edition, with a nice little pattern on. And I had quite a few of these collected. I think my sister must have pinched them. Yeah, so this is the jar. Once you take the label off, you're left with all this sticky gooiness across here and on the lid as well. Don't be like me and you just want the immediate and scrape it, and I cut myself. Not today, but I have done in the past. So what I suggest you do is put it in a hot bowl of soapy water. And I mean, I never usually go near the sink myself. I never do the washing up now. Andrew does it all. But I do all the cooking. If I want to have a healthy, balanced diet and for it to taste really nice, I've got to do the cooking because he can't cook for toffee. So, yeah, so I soaked it in some hot soapy water. Don't be like me, sticking your hands in the boiling water and burning yourself, because you just want to get the glue off straight away. Just leave it to soak. And it's still a bit of chew on to get off. I used a scourer and it was blue. Well, then all the blue off the scourer came onto it. So then I just used a normal scrubbing brush. And then even after that, there was still bits of glue on. So then I just used a baby wipe and tea towel to get the rest off. But as you can see by this and this, I'm just too lazy to clean it. I just wash it up to make sure it's all clean and fresh, and then just shove the stuff in. I don't even bother taking that off, but I should have better housekeeping. So here's one I prepared earlier. So this is nice and clean. I do love these jars, you can get loads of stuff in. And this is the lid. And what I've been using these lids for is me painting, just like putting my watercolours in and stuff. But I broke one of the jars, so I just kept the lid, and you can just use it to store things in. When I first started getting this coffee, I didn't realise you could take this off. But all the condensation gets in it, so you have really got to take it off and clean inside. And they just clip back on like that. I mean, you could use it as a paperweight, couldn't you? So, yes, I'm going to make it look a bit more interesting. Oh, while I'm doing this video, I'll just show you this. Finally finished me whatnot. My little pin cushion with this attached, this ring thing attached, so you can put your embroidery on and your scissors. I bought it from Annie Claxton. I'll leave all her details down below. She was selling them in her shop and she sold out, so she's probably going to do some more. You get everything you need in the kit to make this nice little pincushion thing. And you get this as well to thread your needle. Very good, it's the best one I've used. So I just put the string on and made a little pocket to shove there in. I think this is the Heroes one, but they're all in different designs. Yes, it took me a long while to do this because I'm having some problems with my hand lately, but I finally managed and I am pretty pleased with it. So, what you're going to need for this little project is, of course, the jar. And then your buttons, not just to go in the jar to decorate. Pincushion and some pins. Some needles. Do you like this? It's cool. I made it myself a few years back. I think I'll make some more. Some pink and shears and clean them after every use. As you can see, I haven't. Dirty moo. And some fabric scissors. I'm always buying fabric scissors. Look, I can't even get this off now. These are Friskers. Oh look, I haven't cleaned these either. It's terrible. If it's me clay tools, I clean them after every use, but me fabric tools I don't, which I should do. These weren't as expensive as I thought they were going to be. Got them in a sale, and I really like them. They're, what's this called? Ergonomic handles. So it's kinder on your hands. Then we're going to need some can open things. Then these are embroidery needles, and we're going to need some floss embroidery cotton. Not very organised, am I? There's some more floss and some more floss. Choose any colours you like. Then we're going to use some, well, I'm going to use some sari fabric, but in place of this you can use ribbon. But I just thought this would be more interesting for a shabby chic look. Here's some bits of lace. Not so fussed on the pinky stuff, but you know. There's some more. I really like this type of lace. You know, that looks as if it's been weathered, oldie woldy. That's the type I love. Then just a piece of fabric. I was going to go with bright colours, but then I thought, like for a kitchen, like I mean, it's not like I've got a farmhouse kitchen, but you know, that's the sort of theme, isn't it? Just some fabric, just out your scraps. Then some white felt. I think this is a polyester blend, nothing special. And then some green felt, my favourite colour. I just love this felt. This is, I think it's 80% wool and 20%, is it polyester blend? Absolutely. I have got some 100% felt, but it's like very, you know, hairy fairy. So that'll do quite well. Now, do I need anything else? See, I'm not very prepared, am I? No. So what I'm going to do is, because this has got some creases in it, I'm going to get my ironing board out, which that is a very rare occasion because I never iron my clothes. Just fabrics if I'm going to sew them. And then I'll prepare this fabric and then come back to you. Right, so I just thought I'd share this with you. When I'm ironing fabric, I always use this to protect it over the top of it. But as you can see, I've burnt a hole in it. I'll have to get some more of these because I went to get my other one out to use that, and I've burnt a hole in there as well. The problem with the hole in it is when you're ironing felt, if you go over this bit where the felt is, and of course it goes under the top, it leaves like a mark, which I have unfortunately done, but I suppose I could turn that the other way so you can't see it. Also, something else I forgot to mention what we need for this project. We need some paper. I bought this paper, when was it? A few years back. Absolutely gorgeous it is, I think, from a lady on Folksy who makes her own paper. And I didn't use it because I was wanting to make my own art book. I mean, this is like, she's made just a little art book, but I wanted to make I won't say better. I wanted to make a more interesting one. So there's this paper that she's made and it's absolutely gorgeous, but as I say, I didn't use it because I'm not a very good artist. I was wanting to do some sketches and things on here, so I'll just wait till I improve before I use this. And it's all different types of paper. So yes, we need some paper for the project, and I just thought this type of paper would be quite nice. I mean, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's got flowers in it. I don't think she sells on Folksy now. I've been looking for her. I mean, these little books are quite nice, but I was wanting to make something, I won't say interesting because that sounds terrible, because she's put this book together bigger, on a larger scale. I mean, look, it's got like little bits of flowers and leaves, and it is very well put together. It's very nice. I think I paid about, what was it, £15 for it. Oh, that's just absolutely gorgeous. Reminds me of when you do soap making. Yeah, so I'll have to decide which one I'm using, just a snippet. Right then, so what you're going to want to do is get your jar. I mean, you can use any jar for this, but this is the more pleasing one for me. So you get the felt and you just roll it round the jar, and you want it so it just meets, not meets, so it almost meets the jar, but I'm just going to cut it overlap like that because I'm absolutely terrible with my measurements and I'd rather have extra than less. So I am going to be using a ruler and that to do that because I'm no good at guesswork, and I'll just show you. If you need to mark your fabric, I'll be marking it. I will be using these pens. The friction pens, very handy for fabric. Mark the fabric, and when you want the ink to vanish, you just hold the iron over the top of it, and the heat of the iron makes the ink from the pens disappear. So this is the size of fabric I've got for my jar. You want it so it leaves a gap there, it doesn't meet, because I'll be putting buttons and tying sari or ribbon on to fasten it. Don't worry about the jagged edges when you're cutting. I'll be using some pinking shears around this to make it look more neater and fun. As you can see, I've put the size of the white fabric I want on. I wanted more of the green shown because I like the green, and I've just pinned this in place, and as you can see, the pen that I've used to mark the fabric, the friction pen's still there, but that'll vanish when I iron the whole thing out at the end. Yeah, so I've just pinned it in place, and then I'll be securing this with a blanket stitch. If you're worried about because this felt does move, as you can see, it's like skinnier this end and a bit larger, but there's just by a fraction. You can get this can of spray adhesive. It's heavy duty, multi-purpose. People use this for when they're doing quilting, so the fabric doesn't shift around when they're gonna sew it on the sewing machine. But if you want, I mean, I haven't. But if you want to secure that on here and then pin it, you can use this. It says ideal for card, paper, fabric, carpet, leather, vinyl, and much more. I have used it in the past for me quilting and stuff. But I don't know how much that would be. I got it off Amazon. I can't remember. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stitch around using a blanket stitch. Don't worry about your stitches not being perfect, messy, not lined up, because look at mine. I haven't stitched in a while. What I struggle with is, you know, when you're first starting the blanket stitch, that's always uneven. And like there. I'll have to try and rectify that. Every time I start it, it doesn't go the way I want it to, but never mind. I mean, we're here to have fun, so... And what I found useful is I've used the friction pens to mark out, because I can't cut in a straight line, never mind sew in a straight line. So I've just used these the lines just to try and keep me on the straight and narrow. And see how that works out for me. That guideline was very useful. It kept me going straight. A few stitches I haven't. I mean, it's not fantastic embroidery, but it's alright. I struggled with this, not just because of my hand, but inconsiderate neighbours blasting the music and shouting and yelling. But fortunately, my favourite weather saved the day. Thunder and lightning and rain, and everybody ran in. So that gave me a bit of peace and quiet. Sometimes I just wish I lived on a desert island, so I'd be getting loads of peace and quiet. Oh, in the Lake District, in the middle of nowhere. Fabulous. Anyway, enough blabbering on. I'm going to get on to the next stage. I will be sewing this over here. I won't be doing a blanket stitch with this, it'll be a running stitch. If you want to know how to do the blanket stitch and running stitch, just look on a tutorial on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't show you how to do it because I can't extend my arm while I'm stitching and filming. So, I mean, in the future I'll be able to when my arm gets better. That's what I will be looking forward to. I've now attached the printed fabric with some with a running stitch. If you wanted to, don't know if you can see the edges here. I suppose you could flick it with a needle or a pin to free the edges, but I don't really want to do that. I'd be all worried about, you know, when you like taking it off and putting it back on, in case it frayed that far down the stitches come undone. But I mean, it's frayed a bit, I don't know if you can see on this edge. Right, so what I'm going to do now is give it a bit of a press with the iron, and also to get rid of the marks from the friction pens. Well, I finally found a use for these. I bought these last year. Ink pads and some of these things from eBay. Never used them, so well, I'm going to today. I'm going to use the green. Stars on, stays on, cactus green. So what I'm going to use this for, this piece of paper, I'm going to put buttons on it. But I thought it would be interesting if I don't know if you can see, used an ink stamp to splatter it on here for the label. What I've done with this is I've used my clay tool, but it's an embossing tool, just to write buttons back to front. Now I don't know if I've got the S correct. I struggled with that, so that might turn out wrong, but never mind. So I'm going to whack some ink on, and then I'm going to press it over the paper, see if it works out. Be messy, I suppose. I better move that right out the way. I haven't got one of those, do you know, the long stamping pads, because I don't use stamping pads, so but we'll see how this works out. Don't need perfection here. Right, I better whack it on now before it dries. Right, oh, not in frame. This is just some Eva foam in the sheets. Just cut some off. I was wanting to, I still don't know, want to design a logo for myself, and I just haven't got a clue how to go about it. So I was just messing around with some of these and putting it on fabric. Right, fingers crossed, see if it's come out. Oh yes, I'm pleased with that. Buttons, did I get the S correctly? I wrote it down on a piece of paper and then wrote it back to front. The S, yeah, it's alright I guess. Yeah, so that's alright. So what I will do is then wait for this to dry. Better put my ink away. And then I'm going to stitch it onto the fabric. So for a more decorative edge of the green felt, I've cut it with some pink and shears, but as you can see it's a bit skew with, but that doesn't matter. We're not looking for perfection here, just fun. So this is what it'll look like on the jar. So the next step, I'm going to pick some buttons out. I'm going to attach the buttons to the back, 2 up the top, 2 up the bottom, and that is so I can secure it with, where's my sari? Well, here it is. So I can tie it in a bow, attach it to the buttons to secure it in place, but as I say, you can use ribbon if you want to. So I've attached the buttons on. These are just plastic. They look really nice. They look like the metal. So this is what I do. Then wrap it around the jar. Do I need to go in a bit? Wrap it around the jar like so. As you can see, I think I've cut a bit too much off with the pink and shears, so it is shorter, but not by much, just by a centimetre or so. So that won't matter once I get the sari fabric on. But I've got some other ideas. I think I'm gonna embellish this some more. I've got some fabric daisies I think I'll stitch on. I mean, you can do this as well. You can just embellish it as much as you want. Sequins, embroidery stitches, anything. So I think I will go and look for them under my bed in a huge box. So nearly finished. This is what it looks like with the daisies on. They just come in this long thing and you just cut them off yourself. They weren't very expensive. I got them off eBay. Do you want to see what the back looks like? All raggy stitches. Yeah, that's what the back, all raggy stitches where I've knotted off and stuff. But you won't see that because it'll be all wrapped around the jar and hidden. Well, you can still see it, but it'll be filled up with buttons. Now I'm going to attempt to tie it up with the sari. So we're all complete. This is what it looks like. I'm quite pleased with that. It'll probably only take you 2 to 3 hours to do. It took me 6 hours, but that's just because I'm struggling at the moment. This is the back of it. Maybe I should have used a different colour sari. It's a bit garish, isn't it? Garish, but I quite like that. As you can see there, this is where I cut too much off. It's supposed to join more, centimetre more, but not really. That doesn't really concern me. It's fine. And to finish it off, you could just tie a bit of lace round the top of the jar. I don't think I'm really fussed with that, so I'll take it off. But I suppose you could use just let it dangle or use a longer piece to do a longer bow, but no, I think it looks just okay like this. So, and that's the, oh wait, I better put some buttons in, because that was the whole point of doing it, to put some buttons in. Come on, get out buttons. I have got loads more buttons than this in tins and various boxes around the flat, so I'll just search for them and shove them all in my jar. I think I'll do the rest. I think I'll make a few more of these for the rest of me jars. Looks very nice, all stood in a row. And these, yeah, they're in bags and in drawers. I just love buttons, absolutely love buttons. Right, so you can see it's nowhere near full. Get quite a lot more buttons in there. Yeah, so I really enjoyed doing this. It's got me back into me sewing. A nice little fun project. So that is all I've got to say. I always forget something. I forgot these buttons. These are really nice buttons. See if you can see them. They're like, which way do they go up? Is it this way? Plastic flowers. There. Yes, so that is all. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I wonder if that'll... I hope that's the thumbnail where I'll get for me. For me what? Look, my mind's going. Right. Before I babble on any longer, Johnny signing out. See you, bye.